Hello, ladies and gentlemen. HonMonO bringing you another Cosmonarchy cast. I'm very excited about this particular matchup because we're going to be seeing Sosij, a Protoss that we don't see enough of on the channel, to be honest. Celadon Protoss in the bottom right, against HonMonO. HonMonO, I believe he's a Coyote Brown. Yeah, Coyote Brown Terran. Rocking out our Starcraft 2 Korean pro gamer. Going to be playing Cosmonarchy quite a bit. Looking forward to seeing him in the November Tribunal, which I'll be getting set up pretty shortly after my move, or maybe even the couple days before, open up signups or whatever. I'm looking forward to seeing what people are going to be doing, because honestly, Cosmonarchy is just getting more and more epic, and the updates keep making things like more thematically epic too. Zerg getting a little bit more swarmy now. Terran and Protoss getting some buffs to their tier 2, and I guess for Protoss also their tier 3. Well, actually, there's been some Terran tier 3 buffs as well, but you haven't seen those in 1v1 context in a while. And we're just constantly improving things, adding more features to the game in general, fixing up some bugs that people report to us, and slowly but surely making it more audiovisually flush with new models that, for example, most recently project contributor Delta Catamus provided with a bunch of models that we won't see in this game because this is from Weekend Wage, but you will see coming up. So I'm very excited about that. We should probably talk a little bit about this game as well, though. I do think both of these players, by the way, will be featured in the next Acropolis. It would kind of be a surprise if Sosij didn't make it. It would be a big surprise if HonMonO doesn't make it. I have a feeling that he will be able to. However, I don't know if it will end up being something that you make, that you see HonMonO qualify to through the Tribunal stage. I think he's got a little bit more work to do there. I feel like Top Ramen, Krankendao, I guess Krankendaw's auto-qualified, so I'm not sure if he'll participate. Yeah, the qualified players so far are Hit 'em Up, reigning champion, the second placer, Aid64, the third placer, Hamster, and the fourth placer, Krankendao. Those four players are automatically qualified to the next Acropolis. And then we have had two tribunals so far where Ziki and Oya, respectively, have qualified. Very cool stuff. But, even without that, the field of players at the uppermost echelon, you've got Shopkeeper Dog, you've got Top Ramen, you've got Arbuz Budesh. These players are probably ahead of HonMonO in terms of how soon I would expect them to be able to qualify in. But maybe I'll be surprised about that. Now, Sosij is making a little bit of a ballsy move here, and he will end up losing the Zealot to that. This is pure Cyprian production off of one stockade into the expansion. I like the idea of running the Zealot in. Ironically, you probably needed a Legionnaire there to try to avoid the Cyprian shots, just with speed. Although it would have a lot less durability, so maybe I'm wrong about that too. That's really difficult to actually face through. Defender's advantage perhaps mathed out a little bit here by HonMonO. I'm sure he's done this a lot because he loves Crisis Vector. He always picks it. Rocking out now with his very sort of economically minded build. I don't know if I can really call it greedy until I see it actually punished. And it's a 3-gate open by Sosij. We will see heavy unit pressure. He's going to kind of try to soft contain him here. How soon he'll go for an expansion, I don't know. He's continuously spending down his minerals and stuff, so there is that. Oh, the Hurricanes are here to actually shred the Zealots as well. This doesn't look so good for our Protoss yet. However, he is going to slowly but surely break the Hurricanes, and once those are taken care of, oh, well, I say that. Unfortunately, the micro not quite there for Sosij on that pullback. But once you get rid of the Hurricanes, the Dracodons can do a lot more versus Cyprians, especially with that attack animation wind-up that was added some patches ago. It's something that you do have to watch out for as the Terran player. You could see that HonMonO was kind of insulating against that just by having the Hurricanes there to kind of get in the face of the Dracodons. And it was some good attempted micro at the midpoint of that fight with Sosij trying to sort of arc his Zealot into the Cyprians, and that did allow his Dracodons to clean up the Hurricane, but he had already lost another Zealot because it made contact with the Hurricane, rending the armor, making the Cyprians attack it for more damage. And now we've got 4 more stockades added. We're going up to 6 stockade. HonMonO loves a ridiculous number of stockades. Yeah, make it another one. Make it 7. He loves a lot of stockades, and I guess it's actually 8 because I forgot about the one down here in the low ground. So you're going to see the Dracodons do their best to apply a little bit of pressure. The Zealots are going to go after the anchor, and it will be popped. There is no repair coming. Now he can try to just cycle back and deal with the Hurricanes. He micros back the wrong Dracodon, unfortunately, so that's a little bit bad. And the Cyprian count is pretty damn good right now, so you really do need to wait for some Zealot action in order to deal with that. Nexus has been put down, of course, and it is now going to go ahead and finish up at the natural for Sosij, and that means that we will be seeing a little bit more eco coming his way, but he is down by over 10 workers now. Well, hold on, now. So that is a bit of a rough time for him. Obviously, some of the workers are married to building structures and stuff, but still, effectively down like 8 workers is a little bit rough for our Protoss player. He's going to need to see if he can come back later. Grand Library coming up. I would love Psystorm right about now. That would be a great option here versus the bio. Last Hurakan will fall. We're balled up here with 8 Cyprians. That is something that the Draconans can start to piecemeal, especially since fortuitously or no, however you want to look at that, the wounded Cyprians ended up in the back. Don't ask me how. That's just magic. At least from Sosij's POV. He's going to dive in and kill another Cyprian, and now he's just going to cycle away while the Hurakans push him back. Maybe he won't even need the Psystorm after all, just with this many Draconans. Now, that's a juicy Hurakan hit, you know, damaging 4 different Draconans, the penetration city there for the Cyprian count. We're getting a lot more Hurakans, and this is where it's going to be a much better fight overall. We also have the add-on at the bottom, which is very HonMonO, you know, just wall in my Cyprian real quick. He technically can path around, but I have a feeling like new units are just going to be perpetually kind of scuffed there. He hasn't actually made any Shamans either, and that's what the Vestry is probably there for. You can make Clerics as well, Medics, but HonMonO doesn't really make those, so I'm expecting it just to be Shaman spam. Now, this is going to be a very big micro-training event here for Sosij. He has finally lost a few Draconans to the Scourge of Bio, and this is where you do need some of that heavier duty stuff, which is why we have a Cantabus in the production tab right now. Unfortunately, he offers up 1 Draconan. It was a warning Draconan. By the way, on location, low ground, 3rd base, and of course 4th base at the 11 o'clock position. Man, or I guess that's closer to 1 o'clock, but whatever, 12 o'clock we'll call it. That is such a wild HonMonO thing to do. On location, low ground, double gas base. Yeah, why not? I'll just do that. That's so risky to, you know, just like 1 Zealot comes in and starts heckling you and slowing down your stuff. I feel like versus a Protoss with a little bit more, you know, paying a little bit more heed to the map control portion of the, you know, the game, that would be really dangerous, right? I mean, even this is kind of dangerous because you can still disrupt it and slow it down infinitely, maybe even cancel it depending on how aggressive you are. Although at that point, maybe if you're using a lot of army to do that, then that could be something that HonMonO could punish with an attack move, a counterattack or whatever. The gateway is coming up. That'll be pretty helpful for shielding these 2 defensive structures from Cyprian attacks, because they do have to penetrate through. Unless the Hurakans are actually rending it, I don't think they will. And even if they do, it's also it's still just a spacer, right? Now here comes the Cantabus Storm. Cyprians are very easily picked off from that. However, the Cantabus took a few too many steps close. He's very low now. Easily snipeable later on. This is one of the reasons why a lot of the times you'll see Savants or Eidolons get picked up later on, is because you can actually choose the Eidolons, for example, and just snipe the Cantabus. Not with the skill. It's not like the Ghost in Starcraft 2, guys. You have to actually right-click. It's not like an active... I said not with the skill. I guess that's what StarCraft 2 players say, right? But it's not like you use an active ability. That's what I was thinking, like unit skill. It's not an active ability. You just right-click them if you're precise enough in your targeting. The Cantabus goes down. So with that in mind, we are definitely going to see a little bit more tech development come out for HonMonO. At least I think so. It's either that or he's going to keep making like ridiculous amounts of Shamans and Cyprians and occasional Hurakans. He's actually setting up base number 5 soon. That's one thing that I love about the StarCraft 2 players when they come over, is they build so many extra expansions compared to other people. And like when you solve for figuring out how to do that at the right times in Cosmonarchy, that's going to be a superpower for the StarCraft 2 players that a lot of the times the StarCraft 1 players won't have. But when it comes to the down goes the witness, question mark. When it comes to the actual timings and stuff, you can sometimes get into bad situations by expanding too fast or what have you. And a lot of StarCraft 2 players slowly learn that. So this anchor has been heckled, but not denied. So we're going to get some Cyprians tossed in there, I'm sure. And we also have the Ministry about halfway complete over there, over yonder. 2 anchors being set up at the 12 o'clock. So, and then over at the 2 o'clock is where base number 5 is for HonMonO. Acestus is being constructed. Is that... I actually don't know where that is. Oh, back over here in the natural. Interesting. And Tier 2 has begun for our Terran player. Base number 3 going down for Sosij. He's very far behind in terms of bases and in workers, but he's making the Asilians. He's figuring things out there. A Crucible will empower a lot of his stuff. I've seen him, you know, he's known as the Mind Tyrant guy, but I have not seen him make a Prostration stage in a while. Come on, Sosij. Show us what's up. Do we have any Vespene caps? We do not for HonMonO. He doesn't believe in capping his ridges, sending out a big force off to the side. By the way, underrated strategy if you're up against somebody who's using these gas nodes in the middle and you, for whatever reason, can't get the map control to do it, or if you think that that's going to happen, just blow up the treasury or blow up the reservoirs to reduce the gas yield or whatever. It's a cheeky strat. Static defense is warping in over here, but it's really just going to be an engram and 2 wardens, and it's not going to finish in time, actually. Oh, goodness. Well, HonMonO is going to love that. The engram is going to finish and basically immediately be popped. Gateway on location. Oh, actually, it might be able to pull away. Instead, he's going to try to go for a favorable fight. The Assylian's not actually able to get in yet. Where's that storm? Well, that's a pretty reasonable storm. It could be in the further back, but you got to be safe, right? You got to be very, very careful about that. And there goes the Cantavis, immediately killed. The Shaman's protecting against the storm. The Assylians, though, they are able to break through eventually, it feels like. Extra Assylians coming in. Oh, that one in the front, that's a bit of a loss. That's a rough loss there for Sosij. He almost lost another one, rip-having around the little doodad blocker there. Reinforcements coming in as base number 6 and 7 are both being set up. Good God. How do you stop this guy? Mantle's coming down for HonMonO, his tier 2 in the middle of the sort of natural choke point area there. And this attack force will be cleaned up nice and easy. Not really any good opportunity for him to deal with that. A lot of Cyprians and a lot of Shamans. But, you know, honestly, it's not the strongest, scariest force right now. Mavericks are starting to be added from the stockades, and he's going to save his Vespene for units out of the mantles, I think. Again, I think if HonMonO actually capped his gas nodes, it would be a little bit easier for him to do that. But he queues up even more Masons. I love it. I love it. StarCraft 2 players and expanding a lot and building a huge amount of workers. Yeah, that is a common, like, trio, if you will. Not really a duo, not really a pairing, because it's 3 things. But StarCraft 2 players and huge ecos. There you go. That's something you can say. Enormous economy. Absolutely gargantuan. The engines are thrumming. Even more mantles. Add even more. Going up to 6 mantles. What is he going to make out of them? I don't know yet. He hasn't made any mantle units. I love that he just queues up these structures, but doesn't actually use them yet. He's just like, I just need more. You know? Like, I've got, what, 12 stockades. Now I need 12 mantles, whatever those are. He could conceivably win the game without even needing it, to be honest with you guys. All right, down goes the Witness. We were expecting that. Cantavis on the front lines. Gets a Hallucinate off, but that's just on the front. He's trying to get a Hallucinate into the back line. I guess it kind of worked out maybe, but then he died. A lot of hallucinated shots, actually. That could have been pretty good for the Assylians in particular. Oh my God, look at those Assylian bounces. Hot tamale. Only problem is he doesn't actually have anything to properly deal with the bio. You need something that's going to deal a little bit more dedicated splash damage. And the Cantavis Storms could have been it. I think he decided to wait against that because of the Shamans, but there were no Shamans. Like, it's one Shaman up there. It's not actually that bad to storm in the middle of that. The Assylians are doing so much work here. Is it going to be enough to hold on? He's got 2 more finishing up soon, and Zealots are coming out. He's waiting for the Bulwark to help him out a little bit there as well. And in go the Cestus, or rather in go the Assylians. I thought of Cestus because I also implemented the Cestus at the same time as the Bulwark. That was a reference nobody made any sense to. The Assylians, though, they are making magic happen. They are making magic happen for Sosij. He is holding on for dear life. By the way, all right, buddy. He's just taking every base on the map that he can. And waypointing more units. He's got 5 Cataphracts on the way. Zealots storming out of the gateway, pouring out of the pathways, doing their best. Another Assylian falling. 2 more come to take its place, and the Shamans will finally be dealt with. More Hurricanes waypointed. We have so many Masons traveling to so many bases. I guarantee you HonMonO has forgotten about everything. He's keeping up with the pro gamer APM, though. I love to see it. The Cantavis out in the middle of nowhere. Help some homies out. Deal with these Hurricanes. All right, beautiful. And surely he'll stop this base from going up. Come on now. This is outrageous. More mantles, more cataphracts. Cancels the ministry. What the? Oh my God! What a man. He's actually capping his gas. He's not his ridges. Still no ridges. Just the geysers. Somebody tell him you can also cap the ridges. Oh, hello. He's gonna distance mine it. He won't notice. Man, what a guy. All right. We've got katas in pretty good quantity. Sosij must have no clue what is even going on, but he's gonna have a Crucible Empowered Ancestral Archive soon. So there is that. Perhaps there is hope if he hits the Optecton button. I mean, you see the worker difference here alone. What a thriving economy. The Huracan's rending armor is helping out a lot. Between Maverick and Cataphract, that's a lot of damage increase, actually. Sosij definitely in trouble. I don't think the Ancestral is coming online in time. Now, please, put down a Ministry immediately, HonMonO. Make me proud. Architect on the way, we love it. Optecton on the way. Shopkeeper Dog has left the building. Has left the game. But, no, unfortunately, he did not make a Ministry. I really wanted him to. Zealot Asilian is pretty good, pretty efficient. We got a Cantamus for storming the Mavericks over here, but... Oh, okay, we'll get the Hallucinate procs off. I like the idea in theory, but there's nothing that can actually deal damage to these Katas. We will actually get the Optecton out, but this many Katas don't really care that much. Architect also out. I mean, I just can't imagine Sosij coming back from this deficit. Not just in terms of, like, the economics, but just positionally. What is he gonna do? Look at all the Cataphracts and Shamans that are up here. Holy moly. The Optecton's damage is going to be healed up by all the Shamans. I've never seen this before in my life. This is my jam. HonMonO is defining a new meta. Shaman Cataphract, GG. Sosij can't believe it. I can't believe that Ministry never got rebuilt. But, you know, that's it. GG. HonMonO takes it. What a beautiful game, honestly. If you guys want to see more HonMonO, you're in luck. He moves on in the lower bracket. We say goodbye to Sosij at Elimination 2B. But we are going to be seeing HonMonO versus Arbuz Budesh at some point later. And on the other side of the lower bracket, we have AOT versus Nicholas. The winner of those two matches will face off in a best of 3. So our last two best of 1s are upon us as far as, like, weekend wage coverage. If you miss some of them and you're like, wait, Pronogo, you didn't cast this match. Check my TikTok. That's where a lot of them end up going if they're fast. I'll see you guys later. Peace.